Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Shit That Goes Under Our Heads, the podcast where we normalize conversations around mental health.
That's right. I'm Dirty Skittles, and alongside my amazing co-host, Rex, we are here to share stories and tips from our incredible guests.
Each episode, we deep dive into struggles and triumphs of mental health, offering practical advice and heartfelt support.
Because no one should feel alone in their journey. Join us as we break the stigma and build a community of understanding and compassion.
Tune in and let's start talking about the shit that goes on in our heads. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Shit That Goes On in Our Heads. I'm here with my amazing co-host, Dirty Skittles. And today we have an awesome guest, Lynda. Thank you, Lynda, for joining us today.
Welcome.
I'm so honored to be here. I literally, I was like, the other day I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And I'm like, this is just stupid. Just, whatever. Just be yourself. It's a place of support for people. Let's be real. Let's be, as normal as I can possibly be, which is not necessarily very normal. Rex knows that. She was on my podcast that I had for the shortest period of time. But yeah, I'm just honored to be here. So thank you guys so much for having me as a guest.
This is a safe space. You can talk about literally anything, judgment-free zone. I'm excited to get to know you. I love your dream catcher in the background. Are those crystals behind you too?
There is. I make crystal energy bracelets and I sell them on Etsy. I've been doing it since 2020, actually. So it's called Lynda's Lovely Looks.
Oh.
They're not really looks. I don't know. Just the name all just kind of went together. So
rolls off the tongue.
It just does. So yeah. So I sell bracelets on there. I've been doing that for almost 4.5 years now. But yeah, that's a little mini part of my story.
I'm trying to get into crystals. I'm going to tell this because I find this hilarious. So I've been going through a lot of change in my life with just every aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went to New England. And at the time I was talking to a colleague and I was like, nothing is going right. I'm kind of like making mistakes left and right. I'm like, I think I need to get a crystal. And we're in Salem. Which
cool.
just feels like the right time to do it. So I got all these crystals, came home, fucking lost the crystals. Remember, Rex? I was like, okay, I think we had like an eclipse or something. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should pull out the crystals and put them on the windowsill. Couldn't find them for anything.
Oh, no.
Then I go into like the depths of the worst that it had been for me for a while and I found it to be very therapeutic to rip apart my office, right? So we're like, we're going to completely renovate the office. And as I was taking stuff out, there were the fucking crystals. They just appeared. And I was like, it's a sign. I found the crystals as I'm transforming this space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that, though. I truly believe that, the universe does stuff like that, puts things in place for you when you need them,
I agree. I agree.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. Now I've got them and I promised myself to never lose them again.
Are they in your window now?
No, because I don't have a windowsill. Remember, we're down to the studs. We're rebuilding as we speak, like putting in insulation and drywall and blah, 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 blah. The whole thing.
Right.
But I have them.
Super therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Super therapeutic.
Yeah.
Like ripping shit apart.
Yes. Yeah. The demo of it all was everything. I'm like ripping.
And just cleaning, right? Like just cleaning your space up or whatever. Decluttering. I always have like shit everywhere. There's always, I don't know. It feels like I've done it before where I've redecorated a room and I'm like, I'm just going to be a minimalist. I'm just going to have one picture there, one lamp over there. And I can't do it. I'm like, oh my God, it's way too bare. I need to, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, everything is up everywhere again. Decluttering is a bit difficult for me, but it does, at least if you organize, I think that helps, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because if somebody comes in and moves shit in my office, I get mad. Listen, everything has its place. It may look cluttered in here, and maybe it is, but don't move my shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Because then I lose track of where I actually laid a piece of paper.
But if you
if
you do it yourself, then you know where you've put it, right?
Yeah, don't move the piece of paper.
No.
Do not move it.
No. absolutely not. That could really become a big problem, like a war or something. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Am I allowed to swear? I just swore.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes, we do
Okay.
fucking swear on this podcast.
You know what though? I think that there is, if you're comfortable in your space, like who fucking cares, right? If you're happy in that space and your soul is happy, it doesn't matter what, other people think it should look like.
That's right.
And if it's not a common room, right? If it's your own room, like your own office or your own bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody comes in there anyway.
Right.
Really? Okay. Yes, I get it. I should probably put my clothes away. But do I want to? No. Like it's not in my energy circle.
Yeah.
But I love I remember that when you and I did when I did my interview on your podcast, we talked about so many different things. But what I loved is that you dive into so many different things. And like you've been through your own shit, like some serious shit in your life. But you always find ways to show your heart through everything you do. And that's the one thing that I really took away from that. And we became lifelong friends after that.
I think that the crazy part of it is that sometimes when we talk or whatever, and it'll be a video chat and we're just like so stupid and like the things that come out of our mouths or whatever, but it's truly one of the most incredible friendships that I've formed. I'm just so blessed that you came into my life because I know that you're real. I know that you're love. You know what I mean? And you know that of me too. You know that I love you and that I am there for you as your friend for life, for sure. Just, crazy.
And that's really why I wanted to have you on our podcast, just because you've gone through so much in your life. And every time I see you, you're smiling. And even through all the hard, really stuff, you remind us that like, even when we're going through really shitty shit, we can still smile, right? And we can still be kind.
Yes. Yeah. Does that want me to start sharing my
I was going to say, for people like me who don't know your story, what are you comfortable sharing?
I am literally an open book. I hate false pretenses. I hate pretending to be something I'm not. What you see is what you get. So is it perfect? No. Will it ever be perfect? No. But I do the best I can. So I guess let me start by saying that the first thing that's coming to my mind is yesterday was my son Ryan's birthday. And Ryan, cheat. I'm allowed to cry too.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Ryan passed away on December 6th, 2021. So he was 35. So yesterday would have been his 39th birthday. And that's the toughest fucking thing I've ever had to do in my life. The toughest thing I've ever had to do. Losing my baby. He passed away from severe alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. And I think that's something that is super important to let people know, that somebody that young can die of cirrhosis of the liver, because my son is an example. It wasn't fake, He's struggled for years and years with anxiety and depression and agoraphobia. So just a lot of mental health issues, And alcoholism is in our family. Like whether it's because of our Irish roots, I don't want to label all the Irish people as being alcoholics, but there's a lot of alcoholism in our family. And I too was a functioning alcoholic. I have been sober now 9.5 years. So my sobriety date, thank you. My sobriety date is July 15. So it'll be 10 years in this July. But losing Rye was just crazy. The last time I had seen him was Father's Day of 2021. And it was, of course, during COVID times and what have you. And he was estranged from his daughter. So he has a 14-year-old daughter, but he was estranged from her because of his alcoholism, basically. And then I have another son who has his family, who had just had a baby in March of 2020. So we've got these three different families, all with different views of the whole COVID thing and masking and vaccinations and what have you. So as a result, I kind of had to like do 2-week intervals between sort of seeing everybody so that that my husband and I kept everybody safe. And Ryan, unfortunately, was always on the bottom end of all of that because I had to put my grandchildren first. So we saw him for Father's Day. And when he showed up, his eyes were neon yellow.
Oh.
And
Wow.
I remember looking at him and going, "Oh my God, Ryan, that's your liver, honey." He's, "Mom, you're scaring me." And I said, "I know, baby." I said, "But that's not right." And then his girlfriend, who I later found out had issues with alcohol as well, and I had no idea the whole entire time. She said, "I knew you were going to say that." She said, it's his gallbladder. And I'm like, okay. And I could tell Ryan was scared. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just drop this, just let it go or whatever. So I kept in touch with him throughout the summer. But 6 months later, he was dead. This is Father's Day. And now December 6th, he's gone. And in that time, I never video chatted with him because he would always say, "Oh, the room's a mess," or something. He was always make up excuses. But I know damn it was because if I saw his eyes, I would know it was still going on. But he basically said that it was gone, and I believed him. But so, yeah, that was the biggest thing of my life. That was the hardest thing I've had to deal with. No mother should lose their child,
Yeah.
It just is awful. And it doesn't matter how old they are. It's just awful. But I'll go back a little bit. When I was a kid, I don't remember an awful lot of my childhood because I lived in a home that there was a ton of partying that went on. And there were things that I was uncomfortable about when I was a kid. There's memories that are foggy, but maybe something happened sexually. I don't know. I remember hiding in my closet a lot as a little girl. And my dad would like throw things and fight with my mom, and I was scared a lot. So that, in a nutshell, it was just not a good environment growing up. And then moving into my teens, I remember the first episode for me with alcohol. I was probably 16 years old, I'd say, and had a blackout drunk. And now I don't know whether or not, I don't even remember anything about it. But the next thing I know is that I was home in my bed without any clothes on. And I did find out that my dad had picked me up and brought me home, but I have no idea what went on. I mean, that's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Yeah. I don't know if I was drugged or no idea. But anyway, just not a very good scene. And I don't recall really drinking anything after that. But when I got to be about 18 or whatever, I would drink, I would party with everybody else, just normal. And then I think after I had my kids is really when I was home. And so at nighttime, I would drink. And not every night, but I was depressed. I was trying to, forget about all this stuff from the past. What's that?
Suppress it.
Yeah, suppress it, right? And so I would just drink at night or whatever. And like I say, not every night. And I mean, I was a good mom. I mean, the best that I could be, I guess. And I ended up having a career, and then I got a career in the wine industry. Great place for a person who's an alcoholic to become an employee of. But that also really was a contributing factor, I think, to Ryan too, because in our basement, we had a wine cellar. And so there was wine, right? It wasn't locked. It was like a fruit cellar, like a bigger room, not a proper fancy wine cellar or anything like that. There were some like wooden shelves or whatever, I ain't no fancy girl. But anyway, so he had drank lots of wine from there or whatever. But so anyway, I continued on drinking and then one night, oh God, I don't know if I really want to get into too many details just so to not hurt the other person. But basically I went after somebody in my car drunk. I never drove drunk ever. I made a conscious, practice to always say, okay, I'll have one or maybe two, depending on how long I'm at this place or whatever. But that would be it, right? Like just never do. Anyway, I was drunk and I ended up going after this person in my car because I love them so much. It was a whole fucking setup. Let me just tell you this. I did not know that at the time. It was brutal. I can't even believe they did this to me. But anyway, so I drove down the street and I hit a parked car in a driveway. Like, I hit a nice one though. It was like a BMW or something. It was like,
shit.
If you're going to hit something, you might as well hit something nice, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so it just was like, I got arrested. I got put in jail. It was the most embarrassing, horrific thing that had ever happened to me. I was just, what? I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't believe it. So that was it. I quit drinking. Well, obviously, the next day that was my sobriety day. I never drank again. Call. Total wake up call. It blew my mind that if you could do something and like basically be in a blackout state, because I don't really remember getting into the car and I don't remember the details of it all, kind of thing, right? But if you could do something like that, I don't deserve to drink. I don't deserve it. It is poison to my body, is what I say. It's not something that I can do. So I quit. So there was something else I was going to say about that, but I don't remember what it was now.
Was it hard to next day stop?
You know what? The ironic part about it is that we were actually going to go on a family vacation, a family reunion thing. And, my husband and my other son, they were like, just, Mom, you could just don't worry about it. It's okay. Shit happens, whatever. I'm like, I am never, ever drinking again, ever. I could have killed somebody. If I had gone out onto that main street, I could have killed someone. You never know, right? I'm just no way in hell am I ever drinking again. And no, it wasn't hard. I just stopped. Eventually, I think a few weeks later, I went to AA, which I was terrified in the very beginning, but I found it to be helpful. But then after a while, I thought, this is not really my thing. So I stopped. But I just, different people go through different things and deal with their sobriety in different ways. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. But for me, I just went cold turkey, stopped, and that was that. So,
what did you do for your mental health during that time, though? Were you constantly beating yourself up? Or were you?
Oh, yeah, completely. I wouldn't. So, of course, I wasn't able to drive. I lost my license. And then when I finally was able to get my license back, and however many months later, I had that stupid blower thing in the car. Oh, my God. And I remember going out for dinner with friends this one night, and I was the DD, and I hated this thing because it was so touchy or whatever, right? If you didn't do it just right, it wouldn't start. And it was pretty new, I think, that I had it. And so the two guys are outside of the car and I'm trying to start the thing. And my friend is in the passenger seat and she's freaking drunk. And she's, look, if you just, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my gosh, was I not going to blow in it for Christ's sake? The bloody engine would probably blow up. Oh my God, it was so fun. But that was a disaster. That was horrible to deal with. But the whole time leading up until the time that I was able to get my license back to drive or whatever, even with the blower, I took the bus everywhere. And I wouldn't let anybody drive me to the bus stop or pick me up from the bus stop. I literally beat myself up so bad. And
when did you learn to let it go?
I don't know. I think I don't know that I ever did, really. I think we're all a work in progress, right? I think we all still have our stuff that, and I've realized that about a couple of other things that I'll talk about in a sec, but I think there's stuff inside of me that I just still have not processed and just still have not dealt with. And it's really just more so a newer thing that I'm doing now that I'm starting to heal those things, you know? Yeah. So this is 2015. And I guess we just kind of coasted along doing whatever for the next few years. And then 2018 was, I ended up finding, I had a pain in the female region. And every time I went to go pee, it hurt like crazy. And so this went on for, I don't even remember, like May or something like that of 2018, all the way through to the fall. And then finally I ended up going to see a specialist. And they said, okay, we're going to have to do surgery because they had tried some other methods or whatever, but we're going to have to do surgery. And after the surgery, they said, okay, we've sent the stuff in for a biopsy. And I went back. So when I actually had the surgery, it was like a couple of days before Christmas. I went back a couple of weeks later. They had lost my biopsy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know. So then I had to make another appointment and had to wait another 2 weeks. So now it's the end of January. And I go in and they tell me I have vulvar cancer. And I'm like, okay. And so now they've scheduled me to have all the lymph nodes removed on either side of the groin. So that was actually kind of a funny thing because then I had drain balls hanging off my stomach, which was
Dream balls?
drain. Like
oh,
balls.
drain.
Yeah,
I was like,
drain
what
balls.
is a dream ball? I was like, let's talk about that.
They were not
It was
dreamy.
not a dream ball.
Okay.
These
Holy
drain
shit.
balls hanging down, and oh my good God, what a freaking thing. So there was that. And so then I ended up having to have 33 rounds of radiation, no chemo. So that was 2018 or 2019, I should say at this point now. And just, I had to leave my job. I was a sales manager at the Ashley Home Store near me. And there's just no way I could do it. I just drained, like literally drained from like no energy or whatever. And so at that time is when I started picking up crystals and I started like finding out about the energy of crystals. I actually ended up, so then Ryan passed actually then in December 6, 2021, and I became a crystal healing practitioner. And I took a course from 2 different schools. And then I ended up becoming a Reiki master. And all of these things, I'm just like in my heart, I'm knowing that at that time I was realizing I was distracting myself from reality, from what happened, that I had cancer, that I had, had the whole thing with the sobriety or whatever and losing Ryan. I was keeping myself so busy by just constantly doing and not facing the truth of anything. But I also realized too that this was not something that I wanted to offer up after all to other people. It wasn't what I was supposed to do. So now in the last, 4 months, I guess, or 3 months or so, I had stumbled across this happiness coach. And I went, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I want to make people find their happiness again.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
If I could go through all these shitty times, and people have been through worse shitty times than I have, but these were some pretty shitty times. And if I could come out of it and do my best to find happiness somehow, some way, then I can help other people too. And so literally today, I just opened my website called Inner Glow Rising. And it's for anybody who's been through shitty times in their lives, like that are struggling and like I had a lady yesterday message me saying, I'm lonely. I have no more friends. I have no family. And I'm just dealing with loneliness and isolation. There's so many people out there that are like this. There's so many people out there that have struggles, are going through struggles, who have lost a child, who have lost a spouse, who've gotten divorced, who are going through cancer, whatever the circumstances might be. Life is hard. I mean, I'm not a therapist, but I'm a human being with a heart that just wants to help other people know that they're loved. And if we come together as a community and support one another, we can help each other heal. We can help each other find our inner glow again, right? So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Man, that is, first of all, I didn't know happiness coach was a thing.
I know. It is.
That I'm like,
I have a certificate if you want. Look it. Hang on.
She got her certificate.
I have my certificate. I know you can't see this on a video, but
that's really cool. It reminds me of when I was a little kid. This is going to sound depressing. I don't mean for it to sound depressing, but as a little kid, every birthday, what I would wish for was happiness. Oh. And so when you said a happiness coach, I'm like, oh shit, if younger me would have known that there are people that could specifically help you to feel happy, wish for something else, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But I think the thing is, I don't want it. That's the one thing is that I think I've realized is that I am not doing this from a coaching perspective. I mean, that's not my thing. I feel that's too, I don't know, teacher-like, and I wasn't very good in school. So I don't want to be a teacher. I just want to be a person, a facilitator for something, you know? And so that's just what I want to do. But throughout the course, there were like tips and tricks and stuff like that you can do for different things. And so I thought, okay, we could do that. We could implement that. Even if it's just, hey, an affirmation for the day. Let's, whatever, positive energy stuff, right? So yeah. So that's where I'm going to lead it.
And I love that because you're not only doing it for yourself, right? But you're like a genuine, like happy person, even through all the shit that you've dealt with. Yeah. And, in the last 10 years, it comes through you and you're like a lighthouse. Like you wait
a minute, that's not a good thing.
Like,
yeah, but you know what? If I'm the lighthouse, I could be like a beacon warning people to stay away from the shore. I don't want to do that.
I
lighthouse.
I interpreted it as, that's the light. I needed, like, I'm attracted to the light. Maybe I'm
right.
Yeah.
Like a moth. Like a little light outside.
Exactly.
I'll be a lamppost.
There it is. at night.
You're tall enough to be one. If
I'm not
I
really
would
that
just be
tall. I'm tall compared to you, though.
Yep. She's a little angel, is what I call her.
It's true.
a yard light.
Oh, God.
I love
But
that,
yeah,
though.
I don't know. That's, so I'm going to keep busy, like, doing my crystal bracelets, which really brings me so much joy because I feel like, like I do them for all different things, like for cancer support, I'm kidney support, lung support. There's heartache and grief, anxiety, depression. I have seasonal depression one with the sunstone one. I have, of course, sobriety and addiction support. There's so many. There's just so many that I have on there. And when I see the comments that people say, it just makes my heart feel so good to know that it's helped somebody, right? Like I just had this lady, she bought cancer support bracelets. She's a cancer patient. And so she bought them for all of her family and friends so that they're all united and they're all wearing a cancer support bracelet to support her. And I thought, wow, what a nice idea, So it makes me feel good, makes my heart feel good, and it's making somebody else feel good. So it's a double win. And that's exactly what this Inner Glow Rising is about too. It's this double win of just, we all win. We all find this glow again, I'm so excited about it. I'm just so excited.
I love that you found it for yourself and you're willing to share it with others. Like, I think that's beautiful. And kind of going back to what you said before, we can all help each other out and you're practicing what you preach. So I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I was in this group chat or whatever not long ago. It was all talking about the new moon and I was talking about what I was like intending to do. I said, oh my God, I'm so scared. It's just like anything. You start anything. You guys were probably the same when you were starting your podcast, right? You're probably like, I'm so scared. What are we doing?
You're a little drunk, to be honest. No, just kidding.
Oh, that doesn't sound right at all. T-Rex doesn't drink, does she?
I've cut back
grown a lot
lot.
since then.
I'm teasing you, honey. But yeah, and so they were just amazing, but they were like, just do it. Do it. Stop waiting for it to be perfect. Stop waiting for it to be whatever. Just be genuine and just do it. And my podcast was like that. That's when I was in sales my entire life. I was just a real person. And so I'm just like, you're right. I'm just going to do it. And if there's something that doesn't work out properly, it'll fix itself whatever way it's meant to be, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like the rest of life. You know what? Just fucking wing it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't say, oh, it didn't work if you never tried.
Right.
That's right.
Try. Just give it a try. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll be your biggest cheerleader.
You really are.
Cheer for you.
You're like,
I just cheer for
T-Rex is number one supporter of anything. Like I could be like, I sometimes joke with her. I'm like, I'm going to start a Foot Finders page and T-Rex is number one subscriber. You're good. You got this.
A foot finder.
No, you
find your feet?
No, have you heard of
for other people to find your feet,
What? No, I don't understand.
Oh my God. Have you heard of what is it for fans? Like they do like feet pictures or they do,
I can already tell this is getting edited out of this episode.
No, Dirty Skittles is losing it.
I need to probably become more. Look, I have an almost 15-year-old granddaughter that hangs around here a lot. So if this is something I need to know about.
It is. I don't think it's something you need to know about, but I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
It is a lovely site where people can post photos of their feet or toes.
Okay.
So other people who want to see those types of photos can find them.
And you want to post your toe?
I don't, but I do joke with G-Rex as that's my backup plan if the just do it things that I'm doing don't work.
You're going to post pictures of feet.
Yeah.
Shit. And I'll join you.
And
if my Inner Glow Rising doesn't work, I'm getting a pedicure and I'm going to post pictures.
Exactly. Right.
Perfect.
And people pay to see these pictures.
They do. It is a job.
What the heck? Oh my God. I need to look into this. Oh my
That's
God.
humor.
My granddaughter's going to be like, oh no.
Oh,
Nana,
I
no.
can't wait. You're going to be like, have you ever heard of Feet Finder?
I swear she's going to know. And she's going to be like, she's going to be dying.
Yeah. Last time
She's going to take she'll take your computer
Exactly.
away and your phone.
Exactly.
She will. Yeah.
Okay. I have my favorite questions to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can go back in time to a younger version of yourself and give that younger version some advice, what would you tell yourself and how old are you? You go back.
You know what? I would go back to little, beautiful, smiling little Lynda with her curly hair at 5 years old, I would say, and say, you are strong and you are loved. And yeah, just so that she knew that.
Next question. What would you say the hardest lesson you've had to learn so far in life is?
Geez, that's a tough question. You can't make somebody do what they don't want to do. Life is their own life. It's their own journey. And you can try all you want, but it's up to them to make the decisions they are going to make. And yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. So just let it be. Let them learn whatever way they have to learn.
It's hard.
It's very hard, but
very hard.
Yeah. But it's truth. You can't force somebody to do something they're not wanting to do, right? You can support
100%.
them. You can't force them.
Thank you.
All right. So now I have a couple of questions for you.
I'm not answering those.
They're great questions. If your anxiety had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh God, my anxiety?
If it had a theme song.
Jesus, it'd be like, I don't know. It's got to be loud, powerful, and fucking scary as shit. What is it? I don't know. What would it be? It would be something like, I don't know. I'm not good at songs. Like, I know songs when they come on the radio, but...
Who is your favorite artist? Somebody you like listen to when you're like in an anxious state?
The Bee Gees.
Beautiful.
Interesting.
Tragedy!
Okay.
I'll go with that. I'm going with that.
Oh my God.
First one that came out of my mouth.
That's perfect.
I love that. That was perfect. Okay, now my other two questions. Okay, yeah, I gotta stop laughing. That was perfect. What do you do today for self-love and self-care?
You know, what I started to do, so I made a vision board this year and I bought some dry erase markers or whatever, right, for the vision board. And now I am writing on the mirror in my bathroom. And I am writing affirmations or just like, you are loved, you are strong. Like just putting things in front of my face daily to remind myself that I'm worth it.
Yeah.
That I'm okay. I'm worth it. I'm loved and I have love to give. And so I'm just really trying to, it's very difficult for me, but trying to give myself as much self-love as I can.
I freaking love that.
Yeah, me too.
So where can our listeners find you?
Like at my house?
Besides at the hole in the ground. Yes.
At the hole in the ground. No, I guess the best place to find me, you know what? I think really right now, I would say either Inner Glow Rising on Facebook or Inner Glow Rising 44 on Instagram. 4 is the number that Ryan, 44 is the number that Ryan, my son, always, every time something comes around or whatever, I know it's Ryan when it's 44 or 444. So it's crazy. So Inner Glow Rising 44 on Instagram or innerglowrising.com. Same name on Facebook. That's probably the best bet, because then it'll just kind of link everything else, I think, everywhere else. So without complicating it all, just keep it there, because that's my newest adventure and my passion. So I think that's where I would like to direct people to. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Lynda, so much for being here.
Yeah. And I appreciate
Thank
you
you, guys.
sharing your story and being vulnerable with us.
You know what the coolest thing was? I wasn't even anxious. So I didn't even have to sing tragedy at all. So
That was why I was
guys.
chuckling earlier. I could hear you. Perfect song.
I love you guys. Thank
So
you.
perfect.
Thank you for having me and allowing me to share my story, because I think the more we share our stories, the more we help each other.
Amen. Hi, all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'm G-Rex.
And I'm Dirty Skittles.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. We'd love to listen to your feedback.
We can't do this without you guys.
It's okay to be not okay. Just make sure you're talking to someone.